Ed from Runnable, and this is my 100-mile review of the Mizuno Neo Vista. Before we go on, this is a review, it's entirely my own review. I bought the shoe with my own money, and these are my own honest opinions and what I thought about this shoe over the 100 miles. So first and foremost, I'm going to say it straight off the bat, spoiler alert, I love this shoe, okay? And there are many reasons why I love this shoe, and we'll go through them, and there aren't many reasons why I do not like this shoe. But those that are, I'll mention those as well, just in case it's helpful for you. Okay, so let's just go through, for those who don't know much about the shoe, let's go through the very basics first of all. So I've just weighed this shoe, this UK size 9.5, and it comes in at 274 grams in my, like I said, UK size 9.5. So it's not a heavy shoe. It compares with the Super Blast, but it's not as light as Super Blast. Super Blast is 254 pounds in my grams, sorry, in my UK 9.5. So it's a little bit, this is a little bit lighter, but still, you don't really notice the weight when you're on your run. Similar sort of stack height to Super Blast. You've got 44.5 heel, 36 and a half in the forefoot. So the drop is 8mm. That's a bit more than Super Blast, which is around the 6, I think, millimeter drop. You've got this nice, depending on how you view these things, you've got this nice knit upper that hugs your foot. It's like booty style. Looks a bit odd, looks a bit like a Smurf shoe, but actually it does the job. I've had no lockdown issues in this, no rub on my Achilles despite this going up. And by the way, if you do have a problem with this bit, you can just fold it back, right? I know it doesn't look like it's folding there, but you can fold it back like that, and it stay in your run. It will stay back with when your foot's in there. So you can make it so it's not like a booty style fit, or not so much anyway. You've got this nice bit of plastic here, which actually means you can tie the laces quite, cinch the laces quite tightly, and it won't affect your foot, which is also a good move, I think, Mizuno. So all in all, upper I like, apart from maybe the looks. Maybe it can get a touch hot. It's probably not the most breathable upper, and when it does get wet, it holds the moisture a little bit too much in my opinion, but by and large I think really good upper. Outsole, yeah, soft rubber coverage throughout the outsole, pretty good. You know, from day one it gripped okay. In really wet or even frosty weather, which I haven't run in frosty weather yet, but I have run in wet weather, and it's not amazing. It's not like the Wave Rebellion Pro 2, where it grabs the surface, it bites into the surface. It doesn't do that. It's a softer rubber, designed, I think, to make the experience of running quite plush and more, you know, softer and more cushioned. But it does come at a cost, and the cost is it doesn't bite into the surface. So it's probably better than this outsole that you got on the Super Blast, which I don't particularly like, but it's not one of the top tier ones. Not like Continental Rubber or Puma. You know, it's not that good. And you can see you've got this big canyon cutout here, and running through the length of the shoe you can see is a nylon plate, not carbon. That's important. The nylon plate is, I think, mainly there for stability reasons. You don't get much pop off through the plate. I think it's there to make sure that this rubber, this foam is a little bit stiffer and doesn't become unstable when you land on it. So I think it's not a gimmick. I think it's there for design, but I don't think it's there for generating propulsion, which you do get a lot of the time in the carbon plates. So that's the outsole. I think it's pretty good. You can see that throughout my 100 miles it starts to wear here where I land. It's not ridiculous. You see the other parts of the shoe look fine, but it has started to wear a little bit there. I'd say it's not as hard wearing as the Super Blast. This is done way over 100 miles and still looks pretty good, to be honest, but it isn't bad. Given it's soft rubber, I thought this would wear more, and it hasn't. So I think it's good thumbs up for the outsole. Midsole, yeah, this is the supercritical EVA. It's not PBA, so it's a super trainer, but it hasn't got this, like what you would class as the super foam that you get in some other super trainers. That said, it doesn't really matter, because the geometry of this shoe is what makes it really work. You've got this nice bump in the kind of bumpy area here in the midfoot, and if you land there, you kind of roll forward with the shoe. So for midfoot strikers, this is great, and the foam, acts as a cushion and a shock absorber, and it does a very good job at that. I think this cutout helps, because when you land, it kind of splays like this, and you get a bit of suction to the ground. Not too much to slow you down, but enough to make it a little bit grippier and make it a little bit more stable, almost like a wider platform because of that. But yeah, so it's supercritical EVA. I would say the foam isn't on a level of the FF Turbo or FF Turbo Plus that you get in the Superblast 2. It's not quite that good, but I think because of the geometry of the shoe, it doesn't actually need to be. And the shoe itself, in terms of like tear, wear and tear, it's pretty much as good as it was day one, apart from, like I said, the wear in the rubber here. And in terms of running in this shoe, I think it's performing just as well as it did on day one. I'm not seeing much degradation anywhere in the shoe. I don't feel like it's bottoming out at all, which is a really good sign. I think by and large, Mizuno have made an absolute winner with this shoe in terms of, not just durability, but how you can use it on many different runs, how versatile it is. I've used this for long, slow runs. I've used this for tempo runs. I've used this where I've quickened my speed up beyond marathon pace or at marathon pace, and it's handled everything that I've thrown at it. I haven't done intervals in this, and I probably wouldn't. I don't think it's a good interval shoe, but you could, but I just wouldn't. And I haven't raced in it, and I probably won't race in it. But if someone told me, like next week I'm doing the Berlin Marathon, and they said you've got to wear this shoe, I wouldn't be put off. I could run a marathon in this shoe without a problem. So, all in all, I would say, in terms of durability, performance, versatility, this shoe, all those things are big ticks. I like the geometry, I like the feel around my foot, I like how light it is. I pretty much like the whole shoe, apart from one or two things. The look. So I'm not a big fan of this look. Maybe it's the blue colorway. I've seen they've got a new black colorway that looks a bit cooler than this, a bit sharper. You probably don't notice it as much, it was probably a good thing. So I think the look is slightly, not my style really. Some people love it. I personally don't, but I don't hate it either. So there's a look, and then maybe once or twice I've used this shoe and tried to really quicken the pace, and it hasn't responded as well as I would hope. It's not as quick a shoe as this. So I think in terms of like racing in this shoe, for instance, if I wanted a shoe to do everything, I maybe would say this might be a slightly better choice, particularly at the faster paces. Although this could be potentially a better choice at the slower paces. So you win some, you lose some with these two shoes. But I think this is a quicker shoe. It's lighter, it's quicker. Both not, I wouldn't class either of them as nimble because they're massive. You feel like you've got a big shoe on your foot. But yeah, it's maybe this one's slightly quicker, lighter. But that's not really a negative. It's just showing how good the Superblast is, and I've heard the Superblast 2 is slightly improved as well in terms of grip and everything. So not a negative. It's just, in my opinion, if it was to be the godfather of running shoes, it would need to add that slight bit of speed, so I could use this in a race. And only have one shoe that I'd need to buy, and then I would say Neo Vista, they've cracked it. And then maybe, if I'm really nitpicking, the foam, if it could be slightly a bit more responsive. It's supercritical EVA, it's not PIBA. That doesn't matter because of the geometry, but you know, if it was slightly better foam, this shoe would be, you know, come to life. It'd be like God tier shoe. And again, I think maybe the next iteration of the Neo Vista, that's what will happen in terms of the foam. They'll keep improving this foam as they go along. The cutout, you could argue you'll get rocks in there. I haven't used this off-road. I've used this on trails. I think it's stable enough to use on trails, but I would be wary of that. I mean, you could crack the plate. It's very big. It's a canyon of a gap. So I personally probably wouldn't use this on trails. So yeah, so they're my kind of views. I think for anyone looking for a versatile shoe that wants a do-it-all shoe, and you could race in longer distances in this shoe. I wouldn't advise 5Ks or 10Ks, but you could do longer distances. I think this is top tier, God tier of a shoe. There aren't many that can compete with it. Super Blast is one of those. I think the New Balance Balos is another one. There's a few others that I'm hoping to get in soon, like the Mac X2, the Hoka, and I'd like to see what that's like. Skyward X, if you want a slightly slower shoe but almost a more enjoyable ride, there's another option, but that is really heavy. I mean, you feel how heavy that shoe is. It's like 320 odd grams, I think, in my UK size 9. So not one to do intervals, or it's even doing strides in it. I found it felt heavy, and going up hills it felt heavy. This doesn't. So I think in many ways this is more versatile. So that's my end of my 100-mile review. Hope you found that useful. If you like my video, then put a thumbs up. If you like my content in general, please subscribe. I'm looking for more subscribers. I can't ask that of you, but if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more of these reviews, and they're unbiased reviews, so I think that's pretty key at the moment, because there's many shoe reviewers getting sent shoes. I'm not getting sent anything. I'm basically not big enough anyway, and I wouldn't review them if I got sent them anyway. I want these to be helpful reviews for all of you to make the right choices. So that's all I want to say today. Please continue to watch to see some of the run footage of me running in the shoe and what I thought of it. It's not by any means a slick video production, but it's my thoughts as I run about how these shoes are feeling, which I think is important. In the end of the day, all the specs, all the stats are meaningless if the shoe doesn't feel good on your foot. So running in the shoe is the most important thing, and how that feels, and that's the essence of my reviews. So if you like that kind of style, then obviously subscribe and you'll get more and more of those kind of reviews from me. But take care, watch the run footage, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye. Hi everyone, it's Ed from Runnable. I'm here down the park on this wet, horrible Sunday morning in London, North London. Today I'm obviously still tapering with only a week to go, so I'm being quite careful with my footwear. Today I'm going to do a kind of run, probably altogether, I don't know, 12k at some point. Whether I get to 12k or not, I'll see how my legs feel. But yeah, I'm going to take it nice and easy, and because I want to make sure that I'm comfortable, and I'm not going to fall, and I'm wearing a shoe that I've worn a lot in this training period. It's one of my favorite shoes, and this will be take it over 100 miles. Like, it may have been 100 miles already, but it'll be definitely over 100 miles with this 10k today. And that shoe is, let me show you. There you go. It's the Neo Vista, the Mizuno Neo Vista, one of my favorite shoes, but I don't want to spoil the review. There are many good things about this shoe. There are one or two not so good things, but by and large good things that I want to tell you. So I'm going to go and do my run now, do a little filming of me running and how I'm feeling with them after 100 miles, and then I'll do the full review a bit later. and hopefully you'll watch it. And yeah, if you like these videos, please like, and if you like my content, please subscribe. It really helps. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye, see you later. So this is my 100 miles plus in the new Vista, which I'm wearing now. They're still feeling nice and bouncy, nice and protective. They've never been a shoe that, you know, I can really fly in, but that's not necessarily a negative. I don't think these are the kind of shoes that I would buy for that anyway, but they're a really comfy, stable platform, and given that they've got 40 plus millimeters in the heel, they are very stable, and that's partly to do with the nylon plate, wing plate that it's got, but also a lot to do with the kind of way this shoe's been designed. The huge cutout in the outsole that actually means that when you land, the outsole kind of splays, the foam kind of splays a little bit, and then it kind of sucks the ground slightly and gives you that extra grip, which means, for me anyway, they've been remarkably stable. Never had a problem at all. It's wet at the moment, they're doing fine, although I will say the outsole is not the grippiest, so I wouldn't use this necessarily in frosty weather. It's kind of a soft rubber, but nice. You're right, everybody. The nice outsole. It's a friend of mine from running club, yeah, it's a nice outsole, but it's kind of soft, but it's not the most grippy, tacky. You know, it's not like the Mizuno Wave Rebellion 2 or 1. If you've got those shoes, you'll know what I mean. It's nothing like that. It's a lot softer, and that's what they've designed this shoe to be: a comfortable, high mileage, stable, cushioned super shoe. And that's what it is. It's I'd say the grip, outsole grip there, is probably better than the Super Blasts, which I don't think is particularly good, but it, you know, it's still not one of the best. But the geometry of the shoe as well really works if you're sort of mid-foot to forefoot striker. You know, it really feels geared towards those that land in those areas. I think I've seen quite a few reviews. Joanna's, you know, quite a big review in America of running shoes. If you haven't seen his vlogs, make sure you do. They're really good. But yeah, they're he's a heel striker, and he doesn't really get on with this shoe, and I can see why. If I go back, start running on the heel, it's incredibly bouncy, but a bit mushy, I have to say. But if you're on the forefoot or midfoot, it feels a lot more compacted, still cushioned, less soft, but still soft and cushioned and comfortable, and you can get a bit more speed out of them. They come alive as you put some power through the midfoot and forefoot. So not really for heel strikers, I'm afraid. Although I think there'll be plenty of heel strikers who can use this shoe, but it's a different type of shoe for them. It's a lot more soft and mushy, and if you like that kind of shoe, then you really like it. And I think I'm looking ahead now, and I think I'm going to have to come back for my normal route. It's rained so much overnight in London that we've got an extra lake in our park today. It's a good job there's no park run today, or we'd be doing the horrible bee course up the hill. Have a look at this. This is normally a path. Can you believe that? All this water has come down overnight. All this is normally grass. Wow, you can see right far away. And this river, I've never seen it so full. Look at it. It's almost bursting its banks here. I can't give you a true picture of it, and the water from this bit, extra water, is running into the river, which is interesting. Anyway, I better go back this way. I digress. So you get a nice little pop off this shoe. It's nothing too incredible. I feel like this shoe is similar to, say, the Skyward X in that regard. You know, it pushes you along nicely. What I would say with the Skyward X is that the plate is more engaged, definitely, in that shoe. You're feeling like you're getting more out of the plate, and it pops you up. Whereas this shoe, I think it feels a bit weirdly, it's weird to say given the geometry and how it looks, but feels a bit more natural than Skyward X. And it feels like it's the geometry that kind of rolls you forward, and I'm using my feet more in this shoe. You know, there's a little bit of toe movement I can use, which is quite nice, because normally with these super shoes you don't feel you're doing anything with your toes. You feel like the shoe is dictating to you rather than the other way around. Anyway, that's my thoughts so far on this run. I mean, what the best thing I can say about this shoe, and it's definitely a compliment, is it's a fun shoe to run in. You know, it gives you a nice kind of protective feeling when you're running this shoe. A little bounce, nothing too incredible, nothing so you feel unstable. The foam, I don't think is remarkable foam. I would say, like the fresh foam on the Balos is a more remarkable, and the New Balance Balos is more remarkable foam. This one, I think, it's just a combination of things. I think Mizuno have really worked hard at designing this shoe. You've got the knit upper, which I think really works well despite all the haters, because they're just like sheep or lemmings, just going on about how they don't like knit uppers even when it's a good knit upper. I think I've seen one or two reviews, I think Believe in the Run, but then one of the few reviews that actually said it as it was. Okay, it's a knit upper, they don't normally work, but this is a good one. All the rest of them, they just jump on it. Oh, I don't really like it. It's just not really my kind of thing, without actually giving properly good feedback on it. For me, it just works. You can barely notice it, which is really good. You know, like I said, the huge cutout, alright, it could be a rock collector, I get that, but it works. Like I said, you get that little tiny little suction, which gives you the support but doesn't reduce the effectiveness of this shoe. I know people who've used this that say they would run a marathon in it, and I can see that. It's very similar to Super Blast in that respect. You could do the marathon with Super Blast as well. I think the outsole is a little bit better than the Super Blast. Weight is definitely comparable, similar sort of weight to Super Blast. You know, similar sort of weight to the Balos. They're all much of a muchness. If you like comfort cushioning, a nice soft but not too mushy a foam, then any of this stuff. If you like it a bit more firmer, a bit quicker, maybe a bit more of a tank of a shoe, then you would go with Super Blast. If you like it a little bit more nimble, with a foam that really is dense but really springy, then I would say Balos. And the Balos out of the three, I think, probably looks the best. Feels less like you've got a huge plank on your foot. Feels less like a super trainer, and that's probably reflected in the fact it's got less cushioning overall. You know, it's not as big a stack as the other two. I think both Neo Vista and Superblast have got similar sort of stacks, way over 40 millimeters, and then Balos is around the 40 plus, mark, but slightly less. But going back to Neo Vista, you can get over its looks, and I think there's a nice black colourway actually in the Neo Vista now, which looks a lot better, I think, than the blue one. But you can get over how it looks, that kind of booty style look it's got. It's a really good shoe. Really does its job, and for £159 plus all the discounts you get on that, you're talking, I don't know, £140 probably. You get a good deal. It's a bargain, absolute bargain. You do so much in this shoe. It's very versatile. Slow runs, tempo runs, and really long 20 milers easy in this shoe. You can do it all. That's why I absolutely love this shoe, and I've used it for over 100 miles. Hope that all makes sense. See you later. Bye bye.